What up, what up, what up? Welcome back for part two. I got cut off, so we're coming back with the Mars reptilian footage. So we're going to take a look here and show you the enhanced image of the video. So I'm going to post these at the same time so you guys don't have to miss out. But look at these lines. I'm going to bring this as close as I can. I hope it can focus. But there's lines here, okay? There's lines in this suit. There's a cut off on the suit to make it look like it's able to maneuver easily. This thing has a canister in its hand. This thing has what appears to be some sort of neck guard around its neck. Maybe in case it gets shot, maybe for life preservation, I'm not sure, but it doesn't seem to have a helmet. This seems to be extraordinarily similar to some of the aliens that we've found on Earth. Some of the aliens that actually have red eyes. They're similar to, the large eyes, almond-shaped eyes, but they're red, and they have kind of these brownish, oily skin. Now, that was found in Varginha, Brazil in 1997. This thing, it's tough to tell if it has any horns on its head, but the eyes look very similar to what was seen by the three girls in Brazil. This thing clearly has gloves. It clearly has fingers on it, and it's carrying some kind of canister. Is the canister holding something that it captured off of the surface of the Mars that it needed to bring back underground? Was this thing just doing a surface view or surface expedition, or did it actually have a weapon and it was guarding some entrance to a base? We don't know. But what we do know is that Randy Kramer told us that he's worked and fought reptilians on the surface of Mars. Randy Kramer told us that he's fought rock creatures that were very similar to this. So it's not unheard of to say that it's possible that these things might exist on the surface of Mars. Is it possible that we very well may have actual footage right here before our very eyes that we can see and kind of examine and take a look at? Maybe. Let's take a look here. Let's pull this up. I just want to see if there's anything that we missed in the article itself. A lot of people believe it was carrying a weapon. A lot of people believe that it could be a statue. Maybe it is a statue to their god or whatever the case is, or to some previous gods. A lot of people believe that the pyramids in Egypt were just left here from the gods that we had to build them for. So it's possible. If you have to ask me what I think this image is, I would say it could either be a petrified soldier or a real soldier, reptilian-wise. I think that's definitely possible. We've heard of stories coming out of Russia where there was a fight between the Russians and some alien civilization that had a UFO. The Russians were firing upon it. They thought it was threatening them. They fire upon it. They get hit with this blast. This blast freezes everybody, but it doesn't hit everybody at the same time. Anybody it hits, it freezes. It doesn't hit everybody. And the people that are able to report back and say, hey, all of our guys are made into stone. We got to go back out there and try to save them. Or we think they're in stone. So they go back out there, and these things are just like, turned to salt, turned to concrete, return to the earth in our natural form, of carbon of some sort, right? So there you go, right? So these things can basically turn us into Medusa, which is really interesting because I wonder if Medusa herself was actually an alien entity that did have snakes coming off of her head, or some kind of random entities that were, that could turn you into stone if you looked at them. I know we talk a lot about, Norse, Greek mythology and these things, but sometimes these things actually have real world reasoning for why they are a story. It is interesting to think about Medusa. Could it be possible? I mean, It is in the new Addams Family Wednesday show, where there's a whole clan of Medusas, and they all have to keep hats on, and if they take their hats off, everybody turns to stone. Really, really interesting. So, anywho, I apologize for having to make this a second part, but the way that the video works, I can't put two videos in combination onto Spotify, so we're just making it a double episode. Some of the other information that's coming out lately, there was just a congressional meeting with some of the Department of Defense, military intelligence, with our Congress, with members of Congress, Tim Burchett and Miss Luna, who have been working diligently on giving us information. What they were told was, you don't have clearance, we can't give it to you. What? They're elected, and military officials are not. Our elected officials are above the military. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way to the military, but what I mean is that they're elected by the people so that they can give oversight to what the military is doing, what we give funding for, why we're giving funding to it. And the military has to make their own decisions on how to budget the money that they're given from Congress. So for them to say, oh, you don't have clearance for it, well, sorry, but then no more money for you. And that's what they're going to say. It's going to become a clash between the titans of Washington, right? It's going to be really interesting to see. I think that moving forward, they say that once the first domino falls, the rest are soon to follow thereafter. And a lot of people are saying they can feel the first domino starting to tip, and it's tipping in a quick way. So will it change things rapidly for us moving forward? I think so. I think that there's a lot of people on Capitol Hill that want to get disclosure out there. They're working to make it happen. But I've been following a lot of podcasts lately myself. I listen to them too. And there's a lot of pissed off podcasters out there that want information now. And it kind of feels like there's this revolutionary zeitgeist in the air that's just coming about that's electrifying people in general. America is a young country in comparison to a lot of these other countries. America's not the only one keeping secrets from their people either. However, there's a lot of other countries out there that have stated that there are aliens out there. Canada's one of them. Israel's another one. So these are major countries. These are first world countries, and they're telling their people that there are aliens out there, that we worked with them, that we know they exist, and they are a potential threat. So I think that America's government, America's military is too afraid, too immature to come out and say what they want to say because of our nature as Americans. Second Amendment. People get pissed. Revolutions can happen. I'm not saying that that's what I would do. I'm saying that history has shown that that governments only last so long. Empires only last so long. Look at Rome. Okay? Look at Atlantis. If you believe in Atlantis. Look at Cuba in recent years. Governments get taken over all the time. Look at the USSR. Look at the Ukraine. Look at all these countries that have had the way of life turned upside down, and the country turned upside down, and the military's changed. And I think that the U.S. doesn't want to say they lied because they don't want to have the people not necessarily revolt, but not have any trust in their government, and then therefore not giving their government anything. And then that truly would end our government. You stop paying taxes, they have no money. Simple as that. So, they can't fight. They can't fight you if they don't have their own money. But, they have black budget operations, and they have all these other different things. So it is interesting. It's weird when we have this type of disclosure where we have this video. We have these videos. We have people who have stated that they've encountered aliens. They've been abducted by aliens. We have footage. We have hypnotic regression. We have whistleblowers, both unofficial, official, on the record, off the record, on Gaia, on real television, on History Channel, in magazines, everywhere have come out. But yet the government still is just too afraid to say, yeah, it's true. It's almost like they, if they just said, yeah, we're sorry, people would be like, okay, whatever. And it'd probably be like not even really a big thing. But the longer and longer they hold on to it, how much trust can you have in somebody that just keeps lying? You don't have trust. You can't trust them. So anyway, it's like Stone Cold Steve Austin says, don't trust anybody. So, yeah, I mean, government only looks out for themselves. They're not always looking out for the people, or are they rarely ever looking out for the people? Pretty much just looking out for themselves. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna end it on that. A little rough, but honest. Sometimes we got to be honest with each other, and that's a good thing. So, anyway, hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. Follow through on your hobbies and your goals and your dreams, and as always, continue to question the universe around you. We'll bring you more news, bring you more updates, and we'll see where this goes. Take care of yourselves. Lockdown Universe out.